So now that we have a few of the common characters and story structures out of the way, let's talk about where some of this stuff comes from. So one of the most common sources of material for other works would be the Bible. And there are too many literary themes that kind of go on there to discuss in depth here. But I mean, if you've ever heard of snakes, gardens, plains, floods, parting waters, Eden, judgment, redemption, all of that is in the Bible. And, one of the most important things to remember about the Bible are Christ-like figures. And so these are people who choose to suffer to help others. So one of the best examples of this is Simon in Lord of the Flies. So Simon is this character who helps the other kids when it seems like the rest of them are just in it for themselves and giving into their basic human instincts. And he's kind of depicted as a little bit more frail, a little bit more thoughtful and curious than everyone else. And towards the end of the book, he realizes that the beast that all the kids are worrying about is just the worst part of humanity that they're caving into. And he offers them this redemption when he goes to tell them that the monster they're fearing is just a dead person on the top of a mountain. But they mistake him for the monster and end up killing him. And so he dies trying to save them, which is very similar to what Jesus endured in the Bible. Another example would be Harry Potter, where he confronts Voldemort and offers up his life in order to save the people in Hogwarts. And so you see this theme kind of reverberating through a lot of literature. And another theme that you see is that of David and Goliath, where you have this protagonist succeeding in the face of overwhelming odds. Another source of inspiration that we could talk about all day is Shakespeare. And what Shakespeare does is it lends credibility to a story. When you make an allusion to Shakespeare, people are going to notice it. There's no other author that people have to experience throughout their 4 years of high school. If you allude to some sort of Shakespearean element, people are going to notice it. And his themes are timeless. Privilege and obligations of nobles, power and inheritance, accepted behavior, and what adulthood means, falls from grace, forbidden love, tragedies. These are things that don't really change throughout human experience, and so you can really apply it in all sorts of different settings. And you see Shakespearean influence all over the place. We could make an entire screencast just devoted to Shakespearean references, but a few of the most well-known novels of the last few centuries, they take their names directly from Shakespeare. The Sound and the Fury, Brave New World, Something Wicked This Way Comes, all of those direct quotes from Shakespeare. So another source of inspiration can be children's tales. And these are just more relatable than either the Bible or Shakespeare. Not everybody is going to go and read King Lear or Much Ado About Nothing on the weekends, but everybody in Western culture has heard these children's stories. And so one of the most common stories is Hansel and Gretel, because kids lost far from home have universal appeal. Like, everybody kind of can relate to that and understand how that would feel to be in that situation. And these stories can add moral certainty to a story. You can debate the motivations of Iago and Othello all day, but it's hard not to hate the evil stepmother, Rumpelstiltskin. And you get these Prince Charming characters all over the place. I mean, we could just go on all day about the dashing man who swoops in to save the damsel in distress.